and welcome to part 2 of LifeonSprings Goal Kickstarter mini e-course. Today we'll be talking about how to make lasting changes by planning the long game. My name is Lewallen, and I'm one of the team members here at LifeonSprings, and I'm happy to say that I'll be your presenter today. Let's get started. We cater to those committed to creating the best life possible for themselves. Those who realize that the journey is ideally a long life that gets better with every consistent and newly adopted habit that improves their overall health and well-being. In today's session, we'll learn to banish the quick start, fast finish mindset, and why slow and steady is the way to go when it comes to creating lasting change. Then you'll learn that our philosophy about creating goals is that they should be easy, and we'll get into exactly what that is later. Next, we'll talk about thinking holistically and what it means to cross-train your new habits and some examples of what that can look like. Last, we'll break down all we've learned about human behavior and what it takes to create new habits into a list of simple steps you can take to be more successful in attaining your goals. Many people believe that the new year should come with a new version of themselves, a happier, healthier, more productive, more involved, insert goal here version of themselves. So they dive headfirst into a new lifestyle and hope for the best. But a longitudinal study by Norcross and Vangarelli found that less than 20% of the people who made New Year's resolutions actually kept up with their resolutions 2 years later. We don't want you to be part of that 80%. Next, I'd like to direct your attention to the fact that it takes an average of 66 days to turn a new behavior that you have to remind yourself to do into a habit, something that you don't have to think about. While it can take as little as 18 days, it can also take as much as 256. That's a huge range. So if you're going to pick a resolution, you'll want to make sure it's something you can do every day for the next 256 or at least 66 days. This is going to require a lot of motivation and willpower on your part. Stephen Geis, author of Mini Habits, argues that you can't rely on motivation alone, because no matter how motivated you are to lose weight or volunteer more, you'll always have off days where you just aren't feeling it and you'll want to skip out. This is where willpower becomes so important. Muravin and Baumeister have suggested that willpower resembles a muscle. The more you use your muscles, the stronger they become. The more you exercise your willpower, the more you will have at your disposal. Hopefully you've been exercising your willpower enough to convince yourself to start working on your new behavior. And before you know it, you won't need any willpower to start because it'll be a habit. If you never start working on your goal for the day or the week, you'll never finish. But it's been shown that if you start, even if you start with the intent of only doing half your normal workout or only doing half the dishes in your sink, you'll probably do the whole thing. The Zedernick effect states that things that go unfinished create something called cognitive dissonance, which isn't good. But it means that we're more likely to finish what we start, which is good. Even if you only do half a workout, it's still better than no workout, so it's still more of a win than doing nothing. Now, when we mentioned easy goals, we meant goals that are made of easy, effective, sustainable, enjoyable action. For the purposes of explaining what they are, let's use the example that we're trying to work out more in the new year as an attempt to be healthy. Let's talk about making goals. First, I'm going to define ego depletion. Ego depletion happens when that willpower muscle we were talking about gets all worn out. If this new habit is something you're going to have to do every day for about 66 days before it becomes a habit, then you want it to be something that isn't going to deplete your ego, or willpower. Sometimes that means starting out small by only committing to a 10-minute workout each day instead of a 30-minute workout you know you want to be doing. Effective actions are those that lead you to your goal. If your goal is to work out more, an effective action might be to lay out your exercise clothes the night before and set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier. This won't work for everyone, however. If you already know that you're not a morning person, a more effective action might be to pack your workout clothes and buy a gym membership so that you make sure to go on your way home from work. Sustainable actions are those that you'll be able to keep up with forever. Maybe a gym membership looks too expensive for your budget, or planning to work out 5 days a week is simply more time than you can afford to spend on your goal. Enjoyable actions are fun. If the idea of going on a 3-mile run after work every day bores you to death, don't do it. Something you enjoy should be your action, like joining a recreational volleyball team, a dance class, or run with your dog instead. Trust me, they'll love that as much, if not more than you will. Make your actions for change something you know you won't resist engaging in. If you're resisting a change you know is good for you, then you're probably not utilizing the easy method. Another way to create easy actions for your goals is to make it holistic. When we ask you to think holistically, we want you to get creative about forming your habits. How can you maximize change in your life without maxing out on the effort you put into that change? Let's continue with the exercising as a way to be more healthy example. Another way to be healthy is to eat fruits and vegetables. You can potentially combine these two goals by setting a contingency for yourself. If you go on a run this morning, then you can treat yourself to a berry smoothie for breakfast when you get to the finish line. This is, of course, assuming that you enjoy smoothies as much as I do. This acts as a reward as well, which is another great way to train yourself to do something. If you associate running with something positive, like the reward of a smoothie, then you're more likely to want to go for a run next time. Cross-training can also be used in elimination of bad habits. For example, you might be trying to cut back on your coffee addiction and sugar intake, and you realize that you always order a pastry with your coffee. Maybe by eliminating the pastry, which you're not addicted to and it's easier to leave, you're making it easier to say no to the coffee, because really what's one without the other? Last, we're going to give you some tips on how to prepare you for your new behavior. Number one at a time. If you overload yourself with new things, you might feel overwhelmed and want to quit or find it too challenging to take on so much at one time. Number 2, start small. Just like taking on too many new habits, taking on ones that are too big may feel overwhelming and lead you to give up. No habit's too small, and you can always increase your goals after you've established it as a habit. Number 3, write it down. This way it'll feel more concrete, and you can be specific about exactly what you want. Number 4, make a plan. While you're specifying what your goal is, think of how you can accomplish it. What steps do you need to take to attain your goal? What easy actions can you break those steps down into? Number 5, use visualization. Many people focus on what it would feel like to achieve their goal, but they don't see themselves in the process of making it happen. See yourself in the act of using your easy actions, and it becomes more believable that you can actually do them. Number 6, create a replacement behavior if you're banishing an old habit. Instead of smoking, have gum with you so you can chew when you're having the urge to light up. Number 7, talk to yourself or have a mantra. Talk yourself out of being lazy or having that cigarette. Have a phrase that inspires you, like, "A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day." Excuse the Lord of the Rings reference. That might be a little dramatic, but you get the idea. Number 8, have a plan B, and this one's important. While it's not the end of the world to miss a day of working out, it is important to set the standard early on that you'll always get right back on the horse. Some days there's just not enough hours to fit in a 45-minute workout, so it's important to have a backup workout or a backup activity that you can fit into any schedule. Having a plan B is important because part of creating habits is wiring in the neural pathways in your brain. If you stop for a day, it's going to take longer to build in the new habit. So even if you can't do an entire workout, do something related to keep your brain in shape. Here are some suggestions. If you're too tired or don't have enough time for that full workout, do at least a 10-minute yoga routine. Maybe you want to be more social, but you have to miss your weekly poker game or coffee date. At least send your friends a text so they know you still care. Instead of cleaning your whole house or a whole room, at least start the dishwasher, make the bed, put away 3 things, file your mail, or collect the dirty laundry in the house. Instead of reading an entire chapter of a book, at least read 1 page. Haven't had your 8 glasses of water today? Drink at least 1 more. Sometimes we wake up late and don't have time for a well-balanced breakfast, but it's still really important to have something. At least grab a granola bar or a piece of fruit. Didn't make it to church or Bible study? At least say a prayer. Missed eating your daily piece of fruit? At least take a vitamin. And that's it. Hopefully today you've learned that slow and steady wins when it comes to creating new habits. Goals can be broken up into smaller actions. Cross-training your habits produces the most benefit, and the importance of having a plan before you start. We hope you've learned something new and enjoy your time doing so, and we hope you'll stick around for part 3 of our Goal Kickstarter. At LifeonSprings, we champion all types of change that bring you more life. Our goal is to help you create those easy habits that will stick for a lifetime by providing the extra knowledge set and accountability you need when you need it.